Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing my unboxing for my thrift store trip with my father when I was back up in the mountains a couple weeks ago. Whenever I do my thrift store trips, I like to make a list before I go. I usually have some type of running list going for things that I want, very manifestation, law of attraction style. You know, I might write down, I love my new glass jars that I got. One thing I've been looking for is an antique appetizer tray, like a silver antique tray with tiers to kind of make things a little more special whenever I'm doing tea time with the kids or even just dinner. So I'll write things down like I love my new antique tiered appetizer tray. I'll have my running list going like that, and then I'll kind of refine it as I go along. So I knew before I went to Pennsylvania and I was going to go thrifting with my dad, I knew that I wanted to get a lot of glass containers to store things in. I like to store things like nuts, flowers. I've also been looking for some new potting materials. Anything that I can plant things in, anything I could put house plants in, or even things outside for my garden. I'm gonna start unboxing my thrift store haul. I got so many exciting things, especially large glass containers. I've been calling it glass container season in my house lately because I just love storing everything in these, from nuts to raisins, chocolate chips, different types of flour. I do a lot of paleo baking. So anything to store my baking products is great. And especially since I got into kitchen witchery, I'm doing a lot more baking again. I finally treated myself to a steamer pot. I found a metal plate, which is really cool. I've been looking for these for a while. I would like to start using these more with my children or even with me and my husband. Slowly trying to phase out a lot of the plastic goods and get some more sustainable items like metal, wood, porcelain, ceramic, things like that. I've always loved palm tree items. Young Donna would have loved this. Her entire townhouse was done in palm trees. Palm tree towels, palm tree plates, actual palm trees, tree everything. So this would have fit in perfect, and I'm sure I'll find a place for it here. I was very happy when I found this planter. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I've been wanting to get some ivy. I've been actually wanting to go forage for some ivy. This would be a perfect place to put it. And this was $2. Really nice and heavy duty. I should be able to fit a nice sized plant inside of here. I also think this would be great for succulents. I could do a bonsai tree in here, a money tree, even a hanging plant. A lot of different things could go in here, kitchen herbs. So I had to grab this up because I know I will use it somewhere. A couple of the items that my father picked up for me were these beautiful flower jars. He picked them up for me to store flour in. I also feel like I could use these to put cookies in. And we can even do dried fruit in here with the beautiful fruit detail on the outside of the container. But I was gonna go look for these when I got to Pennsylvania, and when I got there, my father surprised me with these. He already had these set up in my apartment up there. So that was awesome. One that he picked up for me was this one. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It is large, it'll fit a lot. It's nice and tall, so it's gonna utilize the height in my kitchen. This one I picked out, and this one of course was for my father, and I love it. I could definitely see putting something in here to go on the table for breakfast. Maybe some little breakfast biscuits. I have been wanting a sifter for a while. When I saw one for $2, I was like, it's time to pick one up. Because I'm doing a lot more baking now with my kitchen witchery, so I needed something for sifting to refine my baked goods more. Especially since I do a lot of paleo baking, I was thinking if I start using something like this to kind of lighten up my almond flour and other types of flour that I'm using, it'll make my cakes and desserts a little bit lighter and fluffier. These were some finds from my father. The ivy detail is just so me. I plan on putting these on one of my altars, and I can display either affirmation cards, oracle cards, tarot cards. So whatever message I want to keep in mind for the week, I'm going to have it laid out right here for me to look at every day. It reminds me of what my goal is. Whether that goal is to kind of step out of my shell, relax and restore. Whatever my goal is that I find in my tarot reading, I will lay it out in here, and every morning I'm gonna see it, and it's gonna remind me of that goal. And then this is a little teeny tiny one, and it's so cute. And I do have some smaller cards too. I actually make some of my own oracle cards and some of my own tarot cards. I was very inspired after a hypnosis session I had done last fall. I just had to go and make my own deck the next day, and I really laid out all the things that I realized were things that I needed to work on, things that I was really trying to understand and grasp and detach myself from a little bit. So having that deck made, when I go back and look at them, it brings me back to that feeling from that hypnosis session. I couldn't wait to show you guys this. This was a little jar already full of seashells. This will fit perfect on my sea altar. And if you haven't seen my sea altar video yet, there's a link in the comments. Go ahead and click on that and watch that when you're done with this one. It's so beautiful and relaxing. Another item I was very excited to snatch up, and this was not on my list, is a beautiful seasoning storage rack. I plan on doing a lot of herbalism this year. If you haven't seen my medicinal herb garden video, check that one out when you're done with this one. It's something I have been studying since I was a small child. I'm really honing in on those skills now, and I'm loving it. So I'm gonna need a lot of storage for my herbs. I already do a lot of cooking, so I need storage for spices. I do a lot of gardening, so I always need some type of storage. And when I saw this, I knew it was perfect. And they're all glass, and I love that. So they should last for a long time. They are glass, and then the actual container is nice metal, and it has that shiny finish to it, so it'll match a lot of things I already own. And this one was $3.99. All right, what we've all been waiting for, the glass jars. You can see I have an assortment of glass jars there. I mean, these are like the largest glass jar containers I think I've ever seen, and they're beautiful. I have no idea what I'm gonna put in here, but I know whatever it is, it's gonna fit because this thing is humongous. Her little sister, about half the size, and this was a set. It was actually $4.99 for both of these, so $4.99 altogether, $5. I mean, these things were probably 30 or 40 bucks when somebody bought them in a home store. I found this small jar. Put a number of things in here. I'm thinking maybe like almond slithers, some kind of nuts or dried fruit. It would be really easy to pop open. Maybe a pre-made trail mix for the week to keep on the counter. And then I found this gorgeous set, and I just love it. All right, I'm back. I had to take a small tea break. This cup is actually very special to me as well. My father picked this up for me. It says mothers are special, and that makes me feel really good to hear my dad say things like that and buy me things like that. It's just very supportive of me, so it's very special to me. My tea blend today is a mix of St. John's wort to kind of chase away those wintertime blues. We are at the end of March right now, and we've had a couple surprise snowstorms the last couple days. So, you know, kind of got stuck back in the house after feeling like spring had sprung. And it's like, no, go home. Well, St. John's wort in here, it has a little bit of a citrusy scent. It's been used by herbalists for thousands of years as an herbal treatment for depression and anxiety. I have some lavender in here for its calming notes. Also good for anxiety and depression for me because it is such a relaxing herb. It's gonna kind of calm that anxiety down for me. And then I put a little lemon ginger in here because we are still at like the end of winter. It'll kind of give me a little bit of an immune boost to get through the last couple weeks. The next thing I do when I bring an item into my home is to cleanse it. Whether you're cleansing it with soap and water, running it through the dishwasher, or cleansing it energetically, I typically cleanse my items whenever they come into the house, or if I change the use of them. If they move from one altar to another, one room to another, one person to another, I like to cleanse them. And if I have time, I'll set a new intention. I am going to physically cleanse the items, and then I am going to energetically cleanse the items as well. One of my go-tos is just a quick cleansing spray. This is just water, lavender essential oil, and rosemary. And similar to how I cook, I craft intuitively. So I just take a couple drops, put it in there, I go by smell. I've actually added more to it as I've needed to. This one I just refilled with water, so I'm gonna show you how I add my oils in there. This is one of my bottles of lavender oil. It's a nice big bottle. This one has lasted me for years. This one doesn't have a dropper, so I just pour a little bit in there. Pour a couple little drops. Because I'm not applying this to my skin, I'm not worried about measuring it. Some essential oils are strong enough that they can burn your skin if applied directly. Lavender is one of those for me. I am my first client as an herbalist, so I've been trying everything out on myself for the last 30 years. Lavender is one of those ones that can be tricky. Add some peppermint this time to kind of freshen things up. As I said, it's getting cold again. So I kind of had put the peppermint away. I use that a lot in the winter, but I mean, we're kind of like in winter weather again. So here's a little peppermint to kind of brighten things up in here. I use some bergamot, energizes me. Next is going to be our rose collection. They are very symbolic for protection for me, also for love, and especially romantic love. These are little planters. I could either fill these with water for cut flowers, which would be gorgeous, especially for a romantic dinner. We could put dirt in here and fill them with some kind of small pot. With this beautiful floral decal on these, I would really love to get something that flowers. I cannot wait to get some little cotton balls, some kind of cosmetic item I want to put in here. Q-tips, tissues, something like that. This could also go to my sea altar next to my homemade perfume that I made. Always looking for storage, herbs, baked goods, altar supplies, incense, tea lights, things like that. Again, it's got that floral print for love. It can add a sense of relaxation or whimsy. It really depends on the energy that you personally associate with flowers. I have a lot of different types of mismatching teacups for a eclectic look, and this one specifically having flowers on it, I'm going to be using this as a ritual cup, probably for teas, for protection, reading tea leaves. Same with these little plates, and they were super cheap. These were like 50 cents a piece. Aren't they beautiful? This was like the highest one for $1, and it's a little larger, and it's just gorgeous. And look at that detail painted on it. These ones that I'm going to be eating off of, or drinking possibly off of, I'm gonna go ahead and run them through the dishwasher. This is a protection room spray. It has elements of rose and geranium, a really nice floral spray. I have never found rose, geranium, the heavy floral scents to be very relaxing like other people do. So for me, they are a protection spray because they kind of perk my senses to say, ooh, what's that smell? And that puts me into a protection mode. It reminds me to protect my own energy. So here is my jar of magic sand. Why is it magic? Because I say it's magic, because I believe it is. It's just a mix of blue and white sand and ashes. And this is something that I use to stub out my Palo Santo sticks and my sage bundles. I love this. This is my Persephone perfume. A close friend of mine gave this to me, and I used it throughout the winter for protection when I would go out. It worked very well for me. Just give it a little shake and then it's ready to go. I'll spritz it on my item, take a towel and wipe it all down. Ones that I'm going to use to store food, I'm going to be washing them as well. The glass ones will probably take a run through the dishwasher, like petite size. These are also great for storing incense. I have a couple of these in my cabinets that are like a darker brown. I like to store things like sage, Palo Santo, especially with the dark coloring. It's gonna be good for absorbing negativity. This one is white and light. I would probably store like a floral type of incense in here. So they both would offer protection qualities, but in different ways. I love this little jar that my dad picked up for me. This is part of his thrift haul find, so I can't take credit for that, but it is just gorgeous. It has a little snowman on it, so perfect for winter time. I'm just gonna use it turned around for other times of year. I could also add other decals to the side, painted stickers, etc. So, okay, this is where we got our oils from, and it is actually going to lead us into our second method of cleansing that I do frequently with items, and that's a smoke cleansing. I do this a lot in winter. I just love to have things burning in winter to kind of bring the energy back up, bring that light back. Let me find something to burn. I found a small sage bundle. I'm going to go ahead and light it off of my candle. And there we go. And we can use the smoke to cleanse our items. Okay, so we're gonna take this little sage bundle I found here. We're gonna go ahead and light it off of my candle. When it gets burning, you can kind of shake it out, blow it out, whatever you prefer to do. And then you get that nice smoke going. And this is how I do a smoke cleansing. I'm just gonna wave it around the item. I like to go counterclockwise for removing negative energy, and I'll go clockwise for setting an intention. We're gonna remove any negative energy, but I'm gonna keep any positive energy associated with these items. They lived in someone's home for many years, so they could have some very positive vibes. They could have some knowledge that's associated with them, some wisdom. So we're gonna keep the wisdom, keep the positive vibes, and we are going to release any negativity that is stored in these. Any type of negative energy is going to be released. This is a very potent method of cleansing. So for me, your spray is going to be like level 1, whereas a smoke cleansing is going to go to like level 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and extinguish this in my sand. The next one I am going to do is also a smoke cleansing, but it is with incense. So you're going to get that smoke element, but it's not going to be as strong as something like sage or Palo Santo. Some people prefer incense indoors for that reason. I have always found the scent of incense to be strong, so it's definitely good for me because it brings me into that mindset. It brings me into that mindset. We just want to get that smoking, and same thing, we're cleansing any negative energy. Incense could also be a good choice if you are still in the broom closet. Another type of cleansing is with this perfume that I made. It's just water and a couple essential oils. This one has lavender and bergamot. You squirt a little on your hands. This would be great for cleansing yourself before and after spell work. If you are a reader of some type, if you do tarot readings or oracle readings, angel readings, and you need something quick to cleanse you between clients that you're seeing, you could keep something like this out on your altar and you can just cleanse your hands, say the work is done, and kind of leave everything. This is a great personal cleanser. In my own experience, romantic love can be one of the most powerful emotions. It can definitely add an element of protection or a power boost to any of your rituals if you feel that same way. And I'm going to show you how to do that now. So I have my dried rose petals. And these would be great to cleanse all my floral items. And cleansing any negative energy. It really depends on the practitioner. This is a pretty strong form of protection for me, especially since they are roses, and that's one of my main symbolic protection items. So, I mean, this could be right up there with a smoke cleansing, depending on what type of energy you're putting into it. One of the last things I wanted to share with you today is that my entire outfit was free. The scarf and the hat I got from a bin that they had at the thrift store, just marked free. They had a ton of extra scarves and hats, I guess clearing out from winter. And I'm like, oh, I would love that. The shirts my mother picked up for me somewhere. This necklace was passed down from a family member. You can look good on a budget.